Look, the more you know, the easier it can become to stay stuck, because when you understand the pattern, recognize the problem, and knowing what to do or what you should do next, your brain can start treating that understanding like progress, even though your actual life hasn't really moved. That's the trap, right? You get some of that emotional reward before you've created any real proof. So in this video, I'm going to give you a simple recipe for building confidence in almost any area of your life. And once you understand that and actually apply it, you'll see your confidence will grow really fast. Taking action can become easier, and you can finally start getting more of that result that you're capable of and deserve, but it's like something's missing. And everything I'm going to share you, I got these from my mentors and I've applied them in my life throughout the years, so I'm not just sharing fluff, okay? Like this is shit, this shit works. Also, just so you know, like I feel sick as shit right now. Like I've had a flu or whatever for the past 3 days. Like my throat hurts. I'm not at my 100%. I'm not even probably at my 50%, But I'm making this video because I applied the same recipe that I'm gonna tell you in a little bit to even get the confidence to share this video and say what I'm gonna say, because I realize like I don't need to be at 100% of myself to make my words matter and give value to people, right? Like I realize I can still provide a lot of value, because you could take what I'm saying and go apply it and see the results for yourself. You don't have to believe what I'm saying just because I'm saying it, right? Like this stuff, I know it works, but you still need to kind of apply it. But the old version of me would have literally sat here and the smart version of me would have been like, I'm not at my 100%, I can't share this video. And that was like one of the traps that like kind of kept me in this point of like, I would have probably made one video in a month if I was that version of me. Maybe once every 3 months, who knows? But this version of me understands that the confidence, it comes from applying stuff, even if it's super small. And here's, I think, where most people go wrong, right? Like this is the dangerous loop a lot of people get in. And the loop is that understanding creates some relief, and then that relief reduces the urgency to act, and then the result of that is like less action happens, and then because of that, your life stays the same, and then that just leads to then being like, oh shit, I need to understand more stuff because I feel stuck right now. But do you see, like that is the whole loop in itself right there, and it just keeps repeating. Because I'll share from my experience, right? Like I'm kind of giving this video to like the 19-year-old version of me, that it's like I had to watch all these self-improvement videos. I could tell you my whole life story. I could tell you probably why things weren't working for me, like all of that, right? But none of it was actually working. Why? Because I still had fear of taking action, and I didn't understand what that fear came from. And like the loop that I just told you, it's like we stay in this point of like, the knowledge, it doesn't risk you going out there and failing. So that's why it could kind of feel safer. But also a lot of us experience a lot of pain because growing up, no one actually sat down and explain anything to us, right? If anything, you say the wrong thing, boom, your parents punish you. Your uncle says this, your teacher does that, right? And it's like as if we get kind of like punished for even asking or trying to understand why these adults say we should do the things that we don't understand why we should be doing them in the first place. And so then as we get older, it's like we still have that fear of being punished for doing anything, right? Because as a kid, we didn't even know. Like we were probably doing some things right and we still got punished just because the adult didn't even have the understanding. So they didn't know what the hell was going on. And so we just got punished for that shit, And so, what was I going to say? I just lost the train of my thought for some reason. Anyway, what I was saying is that like as we get older, we have all these traumas of being punished for shit we didn't even understand. And so when we start looking up videos and books and all courses and all these things, like that information kind of gives us the sense of relief because we're like, oh fuck, like finally some that's starting to make sense. And that starts to feel good because now we're not failing to get that understanding. It's like we get the understanding without having done the action or any failures. And so we're like, oh, why would I go fail more when I could just learn this action? It's like, I'll give you a crazy example. Like, for most of my life, I was addicted to porn, watching porn, masturbating, and all that stuff because in my head, I didn't even understand how to go say hi to a woman or whatever. So in my head, it's like, oh, I can just get the same outcome from doing this. So why would I go risk putting myself out there, getting rejected when I could just be doing this, you know? And so it's kind of like the same thing of like in our head, we think the entire reason of us doing things is to get that dopamine release, right? And we don't realize that it's what we learn, who we become in the journey. That's what actually matters. You know, I had a mentor of mine. He said that success is not about getting to the destination, but it's about who you become in that journey of while you get to that destination. And it's so true. Like, I'm 20, what, 7 years old probably right now. I was born in 1999. So you could do the math. Probably I'm 27, 26. I don't know. What? I remember I started this process of improving myself and so forth when I was around 19, turning 20. And the 19-year-old version of me like had seen all the videos. I thought I knew everything about health, about relationships, about this, about that. But guess what? I was single, making no money. I was broke as shit, living with my mom. And not saying none of that actually is like a bad thing necessarily, but it's not what I wanted. And I was stuck in that. And I thought I knew everything, which was pretty interesting. And then when I was around 20, I ended up getting a few mentors. I went to an event in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. My cousin invited me there. And through that, I met two individuals. They became my mentors still to this day. And I've had a ton of mentors outside of that, but they're like the key individuals that really helped me apply all the stuff I thought I knew. Yeah, like I thought I knew them. But there's like a quote of like, to know and not to do is not to know. And what they helped me see is like, if I truly knew these points, then I'd be doing them. I wouldn't just, be broke sitting there. And so I remember for most of my life, I mean, I came to the United States when I was 15 years old from Iran. And I remember when I discovered what YouTube was, I wanted to do YouTube so bad because my whole purpose, I wanted to help people. I wanted to give value. But then one of my mentors was like, if you just go on YouTube, he's like, you haven't achieved anything, right? Like you haven't seen any result. And I'll tell you what he exactly told me, which made me cry back then. He was like, Mayor, you're making no money. You don't have a girlfriend. You live with your mom. He's like, to be frank, you are where most guys' biggest fear is to be, and you're acting like everything is fine. And that thing like fucking broke my entire foundation. I was fucked. Like I was like crying. I was like, this is unfair. You don't understand. But then I was like, damn, he is right. And so he was like, instead of going online and telling people what you've heard other people say, why don't you actually apply the information that you're going to teach others, get the result first, make the money, do all this stuff, and then share it with other people. So now that you see me sitting here, look, I'm married. I've been married for a couple years now. I have made over $1 million in my business. Hopefully my editor can include some videos of like me speaking on stages and buying a six-figure car when I was 22 years old. I even have a video. I think it's my most viewed video. It's only has 1,000 views, but on my channel when I went and picked up a six-figure car, And so actually watch some of my old videos. You could literally see my progression, right? And I use YouTube in a way to like track my result of like how I'm changing. And so a lot of the stuff I'm sharing now, it's after I've gotten all these results, and I'm just sharing with you the stuff that works so you don't have to go through all these YouTube videos, millions of videos probably every day that's being uploaded, and just get lost, because a lot of it is fluff out there and they're just repeating what they've heard other people say, but they don't have the results. And the people, if they have some results, making money, whatever, it's because they made it through selling books, courses, and all that shit, right? And they're not even married. They don't have their own place. Like, they have none of that shit, you know? So I want to share with you something I call the momentum cycle. It's a recipe I learned from a mentor of mine. And the reason I want to share this is because I used to be stuck in this point of like, damn, why can't I just motivate myself? Why is it that I know the information, but I still am afraid of applying it, right? So this recipe I'm about to give you will help you with that. So here's how the recipe goes. I wrote it down. Let me read it so I make sure I tell you exactly step by step, okay? So I'll tell it to you and then I'll break down what it actually means, okay? Ready? The first process, maybe my editor could put it on the screen. It's like imagine like a circle, right? So here, the first step is success builds confidence. Maybe up here, down here, I don't know. Success builds confidence. Then the confidence creates activity. Then activity creates success habits. And then the success habits create success, which then creates more confidence. And then that loop keeps feeding itself and gets bigger and bigger. Now, here's a very key thing to understand, because these terms, success, confidence, whatnot, is like super vague as shit. Everyone says these things, but let me break it down, make it very practical, okay? So that first step, success builds confidence. What I realize, we tend to make things difficult for ourselves, right? Because we feel like honor, respect, blah, 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 comes from us suffering in life and all this shit, right? But you have to learn how to make the rules of the game easy for yourself to win. What I mean by that is that first step, success builds confidence. First, you have to pick an area in your life, whether it's working out, whether it's money related, whatever. And it's hard for me to give an exact scenario that is accurate to you, because I don't even know who's exactly watching this video or what you're going through. That's why I have links to my Instagram in the description always. Like, reach out to me on Instagram, like, if you want more direct advice. And I'm doing all that shit for free. I don't even charge money here on YouTube, right? The first thing I'll pick working out, okay? It's like an easy example to give. So I remember for me, I had a hard time working out, right? And the most consistent I had been at that time was maybe like 2 to 4 weeks, and that was it. I would give up, right? Now I'm sharing this from a context of I've been working out since last November. Now we're in July, June, July. We're in July, right? So you could calculate how many months. But I remember the hardest part for me was even getting to the gym. So I was like, okay, what is the first success I need? Is putting on the damn clothes. Like, I don't even know what I was gonna wear to go work out. So no wonder it's like the whole working out thing, I had so much resistance because all the tiny shit I was in my head about, right? So first I was like, let me just for 7 days get used to putting on my outfit and just go to the gym. And I happen to live at a place where downstairs we have a gym. So I was like, let me just go there. Even if I don't work out, let me just build that habit of getting down there. And a big thing I had to understand about doing these small activities, because the old version of me was like, there's no point in me doing that. That's just waste of time, blah, blah. Because I thought everything I did has to produce results. But the entire point of doing that small thing that I just told you, it's literally just to build the habit of, oh, I'm going to show up. It's to build that self-trust again within yourself that you're going to show up, because most of us lost trust within ourselves to even show up anymore. So we just don't even show up, right? So that first point of doing that small activity is just to build that confidence within yourself, so you just start showing up more, right? And then after you start showing up, now you don't have to think about it. So that part becomes effortless. Now the next part was, okay, what workouts am I supposed to do? Then I was like, let me just pick with the stuff I know, right? Let me do some dumbbell curls or whatever. Because I would see all these videos on YouTube of million fucking workouts, and I would just get more lost. And I was like, dude, let me forget all the advice and knowledge out there and just fucking like do the smallest task, just so I could trust myself to do anything, right? And that's the thing. Most of us are right now in a position where when we say we're going to do something, we don't even do it because we don't trust ourselves anymore. We don't even believe ourselves when we even set the intention of what we're trying to do. So we set all these intentions and goals, but our body immediately is like, okay, I know I'm not going to do that. And we just move on. And it's like, imagine a self-trust bar. It's like that bar keeps getting lower and lower. That trust keeps getting lower and lower to a point where we don't even set goals anymore because we don't trust ourselves to show up anymore, right? So that momentum cycle that I just told you, like do those steps, pick an area first, pick the smallest task. And if you don't even do that, that means you're not small enough. Like you have to go even more basic than that. And you have to start building the trust, and there could be a thought of like, damn, this is going to take ages then to do anything. I get that, but trust me, doing it this way, you'll end up building the habits and doing the thing that you're trying to do way faster anyway. Because the way you're doing it right now, be honest with yourself, is it even working? Because you're not even doing it. So it's worth trying this. And again, if you need help with any of this, reach out to me and I will support you. I've supported hundreds of people, if not over 1,000 people at this point, to get results, because I got the results. Then I started teaching other people locally and stuff. They got results. Then I started teaching it internationally. They got results. And now the final stage is, okay, let me share it on YouTube and find the shit ton of people and help them get results. Because these things work. They are very simple. And one of my mentors said, what is simple to do is also simple not to do. So then we end up not doing it because we think success comes from doing something that's very complex. But that is not true. I'm telling you, it's not true. I've gotten the result. I know like what it takes to succeed. That is false. Like success is very easy, but the hardest part is doing the easy thing long enough on a long period and consistently enough where the results start showing. So don't leave this video trying to remember everything I said. First, pick one small thing you can win at today, okay? Just start proving to yourself that your words still mean something, right? Second, save this video so you can come back to it later when you see that you're going into that overthinking again. And also make sure to subscribe, right? By clicking here, I'm assuming it's going to be here, so that you watch more of my videos that I post, so that you can help understand why you're stuck and how to actually move forward. And also realize confidence is only one piece of the puzzle of getting unstuck, right? Like there are deeper traps that can keep smart people stuck for years, and I shared those traps in this video here. So click on that and watch what those traps are, and I'll see you there. Peace.